Hi everyone, Nathan here from Mighty Lancer Games, and today we're going to talk about the Citadel Technical Gem Paints. Here's the three paints: Spirit Stone Red, Soul Stone Blue and Waystone Green, and what we're going to test them out on is some Necron Scarabs, and also we're going to try it on the power weapons on these Scorpec Destroyers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the Waystone Green and we'll paint it on, and then I'll show you how to paint it on, and then I'll do the others off camera, and then we'll come back and show you the finished effect. We've got our Waystone Green, and what you need to do is just get a little bit on your brush, don't overload your brush, and then just start off in one edge, one corner of your or edge of your gem, and put a bit heavier application on there, and then just bring it around up over the rest of the surface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that the same for all of the scarabs on this base, and then we'll move on to the power weapon. So I'm not worrying too much about going over the edges and catching it on this piece here, because this is all end up getting repainted again at some point. We've already used it on 2 videos, this particular model. So the paint is a very gel-like consistency. You can see how it goes on, quite gloopy. So you don't want to overload it too much into your brush, because if it gets up into the ferrule of your brush, if you overload it too much and it gets all the way up here, that'll really start to destroy your paintbrushes very quickly. Okay, you can see that, so we'll put that to one side to dry, and we'll move on to the power weapon on this Scorpec Destroyer. So I'm just going to paint it on this one blade. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to start in the recesses here with a little bit of a heavier coat. And then we're going to spread it across the rest of the surface more as a glaze, and then we'll see what that looks like once it's all dry, whether it looks worthy of being a finish that we do on some of our other weapons. So the green, I think, is a very minty kind of green finish. You can see there. Looks pretty cool. If you're applying it to flat surfaces like these blades though, you definitely need to manage it with your paintbrush to make sure it doesn't pool too much. We'll just do the one side for now. And then we'll move on. So I'll work my way through the other colours, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what they all look like at the end. And here's the finished product. So here we've got the Waystone green, and you can see there the kind of effect where, let me get something I can point with. So you can see that the top of the dome or your gem or whatever it's going to be is the lightest, and it's a darker finish around the outside, and it's got a little bit of a gloss sheen to it in places. It's very much like a gel when you apply this paint. It's quite difficult to use, but with a little bit of practice you can get some really good results. So this is the blue. I definitely prefer the blue over the green. The blue definitely finishes a lot glossier, and hopefully see the difference between all those little blobs there. And then finally the red. Now I was kind of hoping that the red would be a little glossier to the finish, but you could always put a little blob of gloss varnish over the top of it to give it a little bit more luster if you wanted to, or perhaps even give it a second coat. So I'll show you something in a minute that might help make up your mind. But first of all, let's show you those power weapons that we did on the Scorpaint destroyers. So here's the green, Waystone green, on the guy there. So that's just one coat with a little heavier application in the recesses. And here's the blue, the same, a little heavier in the recesses. Now, I tried really hard to get a smooth undercoat on these because it's a large flat surface, so I used a Vallejo Model Air Silver, which is really thin. So quite often I use air paints because I'm lazy and I don't like having to water my paints down. So they're a lot thinner and you get a nice smooth finish. So that was a beautifully smooth coat of silver, but you can see that trying to apply the gel-like paint over the flat surface has created quite a bit of texture on there. So maybe that's what you're looking for, but I mean the blue, like I say, really I think is my favourite. And finally, here's the red. So again, in the recesses, fine, but on the larger surfaces, a little bit patchy. You really need to spend a lot of time managing it, and I don't think it's really suitable for painting on large flat surfaces, but looks great on small areas of detail. So we also did another test, which I'll show you, which is I painted this with the various colours. So this red here, this is 2 coats of the Spirit Stone red, which looks really quite cool. The blue looks fantastic, but again you can see the difference obviously in the surface. You need a really smooth base coat, and then you need to apply it very carefully to not get any patchiness. So blue looks great, and then the green, which I think the green needs to have a little bit more depth to it. This is quite pale, but still looks pretty cool on these faceted gem surfaces. Okay, and then this one here, this is what it looks like when you mix blue and red. So the Spirit Stone red and the Soulstone blue, that's what happens when you mix both of those together. They turn into this nice amethyst colour. But again, this is 2 coats on each one of these pieces, so you get a lot heavier coverage on the flat surfaces, and I think that looks pretty cool myself. So you get like a large pot of paint for your £2.50, £2.55, and or £2.75 possibly, but you get a lot of paint there, which if you're only ever going to paint gems with it, it's going to take you ages to use that up. So that's why we did this test, so you can see what it looks like when you paint a larger surface and give it a couple of coats, just so you can make your own mind up about what you're going to use these paints for. So again, blue looks great, red with 2 coats, also really cool. I mean, great for a piece of scenery like this where it's supposed to be a cluster of crystals for a objective marker. Oh, and this one here, sorry, this we're only like did a little bit of that, but that is green and blue mixed together, so it makes almost like a, I don't know, like a dark iron colour. It's pretty cool, and that again is over a silver base coat. Apparently the key to using this paint effectively is to get a really bright base coat, which is why I used a Vallejo, not that one, epic fail. We used the Vallejo Model Air Silver to get a really nice, bright, smooth base coat over the model. So, hopefully that's been helpful to you. You can make your own mind up whether you would use these paints on your own figures. Effect wouldn't be suitable for everybody, and it does take a little bit of practice to get a good application. But there you go, you can make your own mind. So, thanks for watching. Hope this video has been useful to you. And please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great videos. Thanks for watching.